All right, man. Hopefully, let me check my mic real quick. Yeah, right there. Yeah, let me know if y'all can hear me. So I've been getting a stable signal for a minute. Um, and I got an alternative if that don't work, but we should be straight. But yeah, let me know if y'all can hear me. Yo, let me know if you can hear me. And drop it in the chat for me. You got me? Can you hear me? Yeah, you gotta drop it in the chat. I know it's a little delay. That's all right. Yo. Confirm for me. Put it in the chat. You can hear me. Can you hear me? Hello. A little few people that's here. I just need you to say something for me. Just type it in the chat real quick that you can hear me. Then I can go on. Check. 1 2 1 2. Can somebody say something for me in the chat? Let me know. It's supposed to rain. Yeah. Yeah, I need you to say something in the chat for me so I can get this party started. Hold on, let me see. Let me go. Let me do this. All right, thank you. Jesus Christ. Thank you, Hidden. Appreciate you. All right. All right. So I had some little video issues last time. All right. So inshallah we be good. So anyway, we want to talk about the Quranic connection to the 4th of July and Sirius. Hopefully that background music ain't too loud for y'all, is it? Let me know if it is. You can put that in the chat. All right. And so we're going to talk about this connection to Sirius, the 4th of July, and how it's actually obviously in the Quran. So as I started off last time, I said, listen, the throne of Allah has been found. I did a video on this back in, I think it was late February. And the reason why I say the throne can be found is because when you go look at the word for throne, which is the top one, read from right to left, which we say is Sar, and then you look at the word at the bottom, Arsh, those are the exact same 3 letters, and their numerical value is 570. So as I pointed out, 570 just so happened to be the year that the prophet, peace be upon him, was born, right? So Sar, the throne, Sirius, Sar, Arch, the throne, another one word here as well dealing with Sharia, all right, which would just be SRA. That means law, and that is the law that Muslims follow, the Islamic law, right? So really, this is really talking about the law of Sirius. Okay, that's what this whole thing is about. It's the law of Sirius. All right. So when we get into one of my favorite verses in the Quran, chapter 53, verse 49, it reads, "And he is the Lord of Sirius." So as I stated, Sirius is the brightest star in all of the heavens. And like all of the heavens, that's a big statement. You know what I mean? Like, because there's a lot of stars. So this is the brightest star in all of the heavens, right? So the Quran is specifying that now I'm the Lord of this one, right? Didn't say Procyon, Beetlejuice, and none of those others, right? Then there's the verse that says, "And it is he who placed for you the stars that you may be guided by them through the darkness of the land and sea. We have detailed the signs for a people who know." Now, again, I'm going to tell you that this verse is deeper than what it's saying, because everybody can say, well, okay, well, the navigators, the sailors on the sea use the stars, and people use the stars on the land, like the slaves got free or whatever the case may be. Everybody know that. What do you mean you detail the signs for people who know? Again, the Quran is full of reference points of turning your head from the heaven. How many times will you look at the heavens and turn your head from it? How many times these are signs for people of understanding, constantly, over and over and over again, right? But one of the things I find very interesting with this verse is that they said the stars guide, right? Let's look at that again. So it said, "And who placed for you the stars that you may be guided." Now, the word guided is hadi, which comes from the word, or is the root word that makes up the word called Mahdi. So again, as I was explaining earlier, in the Christian, obviously we got Jesus in Christianity, but in the Islamic side of the Shia side, because you got it, in Islam, you got like these two main splits, big splits. You know what I mean? You got the Sunni side and you got the Shia side. And the Shia side, which kept it 100% thorough and real, and from what I'm looking at, you know what I mean? They decided to roll with the Prophet and his family. Big obvious. It's actually some phenomenal research that need to be done. Maybe I'll put a presentation together on it. But phenomenal stance that they took to uphold the Prophet and his family. Whereas the Sunnis didn't. They absolutely did not. All right. But anyway, inside of Shia, then they have this thing where they say, hey, there's 12 guided imams that comes out of the lineage of Ali and Fatima, peace be upon them. And the 12th one they said is Imam al-Mahdi, who has went into this concept called oculation. He's went in hiding, and he's waiting to come back at the end times with Jesus. This is in their Islamic theology. And I'm like, that's interesting. Yeah, I think you missed the mark, respectfully. Because, again, World War I didn't bring Jesus back. World War II ain't bring Jesus and the Mahdi back. Do you think it's going to get worse than World War II? Like, what do you really think it's going to take? It's been 2,000 plus years, man. So here we go back to this whole mystery God. And we don't really understand what this represents. Now, the Quran says the stars may be stars as the guide, and guide is Hadi, and Mahdi is the guide, but the guide is coming from a celestial aspect. So again, if we go to the Quran, when I kept getting on the Imam, and I show you what's that 32:24, and it says, hey, listen, we raised among them leaders that are what? Guided by our commands. And we know that the commands flow from the seven heavens and earth. So you have to be guided by that, guided by our commands. So the imams is guided. The imams is guided by the Mahdi. The Mahdi, in this sense, is understanding the commands that's flowing from the heavens. Okay, so this is why I keep telling y'all, and you really can't. There's no body politic that can make you an imam, make you khalifa, make you any of this, because all of these titles, as I showed last week, all of these titles are rooted in some type of knowledge of a celestial correspondence in the sky. So you have to be guided by that in order for you to be that. The body politic can't make you none of this. Okay. But interesting, just so you know, some newbies on the Islamic journey, as far as opening up your consciousness, yeah, they believe in the Jesus too. On the Shia side, it's called the Mahdi. All right. All right. So let's go to Africa. As I stated earlier, Africa is before Arabia, before Islam, before the Arabic language, right? And it's documented that the temple of Isis, all right, was built and constructed in a way that the entrance is in alignment with when the star Sirius rises in the morning, okay? Particularly in August, okay? Why August? I'll show you in a couple slides. And then you have a goddess named Setdet, who is 100%, they had said, well, the Syrian star, which is a star on her head, represents her. Some say this is another form of Isis. All right, so you got this feminine goddess energy that's connected to the Syrian thing. All right, so this is Egypt way before Arabic, way before Hebrew. Okay, and again, the Arabic and the Hebrew are called Afro-Semitic languages, which means linguistically speaking, they come from Africa. Okay, all right. So Arabia, Islam, which again, I got the book over there. Should have brung it. Excellent book, but it's a fact that when Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, first got the revelation of Islam, his own local people was like, "Oh no, we don't accept that. We're gonna kill you." And then he said, "Listen, I need y'all, my community. I need y'all to get up out of here and go over to Ethiopia, because there's the king there that's tolerable and he will not persecute you." He went to a black king in Ethiopia. This is facts. Okay. So the language is from Africa. You have to go to Africa. Hold on, I gotta get this book because I gotta read this to you. I gotta read this part. This is important. This is important. And this is Beyond Bilal by brother Mustafa Briggs. Shout out to Mustafa, man. He be dropping this. He be dropping it. He be dropping it. So where's it at in here? This is the prophet saying, "Beware of Allah regarding the people under protection in Egypt, the people with jet black skin and curly hair, for we share with them lineage and marriage relations." This is on page 13. Okay? You can read that for yourself for a minute if it get clear. All right? This is on page 13. Okay? He is saying that, he's quoting something that the Prophet Muhammad said, basically, the people with curly hair and jet black skin in Egypt, be careful with them, because these people, we share marital relations and we are kinfolk. Okay? Now, I've seen a guy online drop some research on showing that the Quraysh tribe, which the prophet was from, these were dark-skinned people. Okay? Now, this book, he got so many dark, even Adam itself means dark. Black, not red, right? Like literally, right? So many reference points of Islam being really a black thing. Okay, so this is a good piece to have beyond Bilal. All right. So anyway, so now when we're dealing with Sirius, you're dealing with us. Okay, which I just showed you from this book. The prophet is saying we can't folk over here. We family. Okay. All right. So now the ancient Egyptians noticed that what's called the heliacal rise in the star Sirius, the brightest in the night sky, would occur a short time before the annual flooding of the Nile. right? And this kicked off the farming season. Again, this is going to be like in August, which technically is Leo season, which makes the full moon where? Aquarius, known as the water bearer. And now you see the Nile River starting to what? Rise. So this time of the year, August, that starts to kick off a very important part of the Egyptian culture dealing with that particular star. Okay, they made a correspondence. Oh snap, that star rise before the sun. Oh wow, the Nile River is rising. So they made a correspondence with that. Okay, this is what it looks like. So I got on this program around August the 17th, you see Sirius rising into the left, where say Cancer and Mercury. You see the brightness of the sun about to come up in a little bit. So in August, this will occur. And this is the return of the dog star. Okay. All right. Thus ending the 72 period dog day. All right. Okay. So now when we go and stay in Africa, but let's go to the west side. When we go west side Africa, you got plenty of books written about the Syrian mysteries and the Dogon, who has a vast knowledge of Sirius, who show you a drawing of Sirius A and B and how they do this DNA figure 8 dance. But the astronomical diagram of the European says, oh, I'd be damned. This does mirror exactly what the Dogon drew thousands of years before Europeans got into the science. Now, they say the Dogon people of Mali believe the Nomo are ancestral spirits, often described as amphibious, hermaphroditic beings who were sent to Earth by the creator god Amma. I'm going to go all the way down to, where is it at? Celestial origin. The Nomo are said to have descended from the sky, specifically from the star system of Sirius in a fiery vessel. Inshallah, I'm going to show you that the Quran has a knowledge of constellations that absolutely deals with the one I played in the beginning. If you read the translations, it say fiery sparks. But when I show you the translation of what that is, it's going to be dealing with a certain constellation. The Quran, I keep telling y'all, when you really understand the Quran, man, listen, I put it like this. My man Solomon, King Solomon, is said to have control over the jinn, control the wind. He can control certain aspects of nature. The Quran, when you know what you're looking at, is really giving you the keys to that type of consciousness. All right. Anyway, I'll move on. So, how do you ET phone home with this? The Dogon got it. The Egyptians got it. The Quran, Allah says, I'm the Lord of Sirius. How do you, as my man Bobby would say, get on the phone with the spirit world? How do you get on the phone with the spirit world? Well, I'll show you. All right. I'll show you. But let me show you the science first. Today is July the 4th. We're on the right-hand side. We had a place called the Heliacal, which technically was yesterday on the 3rd, where we are the furthest away from the sun. However, if you're on July 3rd and you're looking at the sun, what's behind the sun? Sirius. Because on July the 2nd, Sirius, or the sun and Sirius align perfectly on July the 2nd. So what happens 6 months later or prior, January 3rd, 4th, you're at the closest to the sun, known as the perihelion, and you're passing in between Sirius and the sun. It's like you're going through a portal. You're passing, the earth is passing in between Sirius and sun while being the closest to the sun. And that is our new year. So both of these, Independence, July 4th era, and January the 1st, the whole New Year era, these are Syrian alignments. Because when you are in a circle, ladies and gentlemen, you can be at two different points. That's a straight line. Do y'all get that? 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock. It's on the same horizontal line. Yes? You get what I'm saying? 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock on the same vertical line of the circle. So on the circle, you can have 2 even points. It's going to stretch you 180 degrees perfectly straight. So both of these timelines of our independence and our new year are Syrian alignments. So while you want to play with the moon, because the Muslims don't know what they're doing, I'm just going to be honest with you. They don't know what they're doing. You want to play with the moon, dealing with a year, or you want to deal with whatever you want to deal with. This is dealing with the earth, sun, and Sirius, irregardless to a moon. So Allah is the Lord of Sirius. That's why I say you want to know the best calendar. The best calendar is the United States calendar. You just have to know astronomically what's what and create your festivals around that, like all of the cultures do. Eid Mubarak and things of that nature, and it ain't got no celestial juice, no celestial charge behind it. Okay? All right. So our new year and our independence, Syrian alignments. Forget the sun, forget the, I ain't gonna say forget the sun, but yeah, this is bigger than that. All right. This is literally rooting you back to your ancient ancestors. United States system, but think about it. When you look at the Washington Monument in DC, it's pointing to the heaven, and they passed the ordinance. No building is allowed to supersede that structure, which is 555 feet. There's no building allowed to supersede that structure in height. We know DC is an astrological town. Shout out to Benjamin Banneker, who designed it based off of 3 primary stars, right? So this calendar puts you to Sirius, the Egyptian goddess. What y'all talking about? It ain't got nothing to do with Happy Jew Year. They are lying to you. All right. So now, what happens at this time of year? You're on the Earth, far right. The sun is in front of Sirius. You do 4th of July, red, white, and boom. But the red, white, and blue, the star Sirius looks like it's white from our standpoint. Sun is on the red side, especially in the morning and sunset. And then blue is the Earth. So red, white, and blue is dealing with this celestial alignment that you see. So we start at this. Really think about what I'm showing you. Not only do the colors match the United States flag, when the Earth over there in blue, right now on July the 4th, right now, that's where it is. The sun appears in front of Sirius. What do? We set off fireworks. Boom, 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 boom. And then 6 months later, what do? It's the New Year's. We shoot our guns and let off gun sparks. So both times that we're in the Syrian alignment, we're letting off sound and light, because the fireworks is making sound too. Boom. My dog wouldn't even go outside yesterday to pee, right? Boom. And then you see all this light. And you get the gunshots, you see a flash of light, but you hear the sound. So we're playing with sound and light every time we're in these pockets. So you want to know one of the coolest things to do in these pockets? For real, you can do it tonight. Take a bottle rocket, write one word of an intention, or seal all of your the things that you want, your goals, into an image. Could be a smiley face, could be whatever. Write that on a bottle rocket, light that joint up, especially if you know direction in astrological bodies, right? So right now, the sun and Sirius are aligned. Point that joint joker to the sun, light it, and send it off in space. And then it explodes in the ether, permeating. So now your idea and intention is permeating through the ether using light and sound. Okay? See, this is why homeboy told me, you talk too much and you're giving people too much information. This is secret Western African Senegal Islam that you teach it. I watched the video. I watched the video on YouTube last night, watching some sheikhs from the Tajani order, and at the end they did something like this. I said, "Yo, I do that," and I've never been shown that, but I keep saying it's very important. I think everyone should get their ancestry done, because once you tap in, the ancestral record that's inside of you naturally gonna come to you. Your higher self, gonna start teaching you about you. It's gonna start guiding you. That's the guide. Okay. Anyway, moving on. So, how do we call home? I'm gonna show you some old work. This is old work, right? It's like 15 years ago. Damn, that's 15 years ago. December 31st, 2010. I said, Happy New Year solar eclipse in the science of the number 13. Yes? And if we read the description, it says on January the 4th, we experience our first partial solar eclipse of the year. Also, we will experience a meteor shower the day before the solar eclipse, with the new moon taking place at 13 degrees Capricorn. This is the first of 4 moons that will take place at 13 degrees, signaling the arrival of the divine father and mother. Hold on. I'm giving you something here. Because, see, this all ties into last week's episode dealing with the earthquake. Because if you understand 13 degrees Capricorn, Capricorn is opposite Sirius. And opposite Sirius is Vega, which on the earth, Las Vegas, Sin City. I dealt with that last episode, right? So I'm telling you the science of the number 13, because the first 4 eclipses coming in for 2011 was going to be at 13 degrees, 13 degrees, 13 degrees, 13 degrees. Mind you, this is a country that starts off with 13 colonies, 13 stars and stripes. Okay? All right. So then on January the 3rd, one day before the actual eclipse, I did the first emergency broadcast and said, what? This is what? Sirius. See, this is on my blog talk days, 2010, 2011. I'm going back in the vault. I said, tomorrow morning, there will be the year's first solar eclipse at 13 degrees Capricorn. We need to be in alignment. Why is this important? Because Capricorn is the goat. The goat has been styled and perceived as Baphomet, the evil energy, Illuminati, blood sacrifice, Aleister Crowley, white boys doing dark, nasty things with the goat. Yes? So this is in opposition to Sirius. Sirius is ET phone home. This is ancestral homeland. Capricorn represents government. So now could the government, because y'all be liking to say, this is what I be saying. Y'all be saying that the government be doing rituals. And they harnessing the energy, brother. And the energy coming through the ley lines. Okay, I believe that's true. But don't talk about it. Be about it. What you gonna do about it? Right? So I said, okay. So now you trying to harness the energy. You opposite this. I tell you what, we're gonna get on the phone with Bobby. So we're gonna get on the phone with the spirit world. We're gonna call Sirius. We're gonna call in. We're gonna dial in to the nomos. All right, we're gonna dial in. Right. So I ain't gonna tell you what we did. Just know we just focused on the star, right? And this is what happened. I seen this. I said, this is interesting. January the 7th. What did it say? The Earth's magnetic pole is slowly heading towards Russia, according to scientists, but one of the places being affected by this is Tampa International Airport. Airport official closed its main runway this week until what? January the what? 13th. Stop. Stop. Okay? Didn't I tell you the science of the number 13 back on December 31st? Yes. Didn't I come back on January the 3rd and say, listen, tomorrow is that thing. We need to be in. Yes. Yes, I did. And so then on the 7th, which is what, 4 days later, they say, oh, hey. The poles are shifting. And such a magnetic influx came into our reality that Tampa Bay had to shut down the main runway. And they said they're not going to open it back up to the 13th. Salute to the 13 people that's here right now. It's really, you really supposed to be like, you right here that's hearing this right now, like we supposed to be in this like inner circle doing some heavy stuff. Okay. So look what happens next when the 13th get here. New zodiac sign. Ophiuchus, the 13th sign. First posted January the 13th. And then I found very funny that at the very bottom, Capricorn, January 20th, February 16th, Aquarius, February 16th to March 11th, Pisces, March 11th to 18th. And you know, 216 is very important over here on this side of the ledger, and you see it twice. Yeah. So on the 13th, all of a sudden, some guy who think he studies this craft says, well, hey, there's a 13th sign. Yeah, it was a sign from the 13th, if you get it. Yeah, because we called home. And see, the reason the airplane magnetic field, and that hits that, because air represents the plane of spirit. You know that in basic coming into the science, right? So air is spirit. So then that had to move and say, all right, spirit is working. I'm gonna shut this down to the 13th. But then when the 13th get here, it says, oh, by the way, there's a 13th sign. But that's, and what did the Dogon say? Ancestral communication. We're talking galactic light beings. Listen, if you go look into white folks talking about the Galactic Confederation of Light, this is what they call it. It's white folks. Galactic Confederation of Light. The Syrian beings are the ones that seed humanity and deal with futuristic stuff, and they're the one that got our back. So does Orion. There's a few of them, right? Star systems, right? Now, Draco, on the other hand, is a problem. It's the old star, the old order. Them the reptilians, they say. I believe it. Because, you know, listen, don't knock, you just gotta call it what it is. What's my man name? What's my man name? Soldier Boy on that. Ooh, Soldier Boy. He said he Big Draco because that's his name. Somewhere Dre's in his name somewhere. Yeah. And now the YNs say, yeah, no. I'm go pull out my Draco and shoot you. Yeah, they operating off the lower frequency of the last order. You understand what I'm saying? And some of them look like lizards, if we're gonna be honest about it. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect. Some of these people, you look at them, you're like, that nigga look like a salamander. Like he looks like just like Elon Musk. You know good and well Elon Musk look like you a robot or something. They need to peel that mask off you. You don't even look human. You don't even act human. You know what I'm saying? You move like a AI intelligence, right? So you can, some of the stuff you can just see. All right. So I ain't trying to get all spooky and stuff, but anyway, the 13th sign came back. So I'm talking about really creating phenomenon, man. I'm talking about going outside and praying to your God that you say you believe in, your ancestors who you say you believe in, and show me a sign that is real. I'll be talking about some. I showed Minister Jew, Brother Umar. You know, pack your canned goods. You know what I'm saying? Get your passports and run. Nigga, what you mean, y'all? What you talking about? What goon at now? What big old goon? What goony goon at? Goony goon ain't got no work. That's why I be saying, man, all due respect, man, these niggas don't really believe into that. They don't believe into it. And I know why you shouldn't believe in it like that. I know why you wouldn't. I ain't gonna say shouldn't. I know why you wouldn't believe in it. Because slavery got that ass beat and your ancestors didn't do shit about it. I'm gonna be honest about it. Okay. So that'll give you a broken spirit. I understand that. But if you really believe, it would be spirit first. Don't tell me to run and pack and get canned goods and stuff. I keep telling y'all, when my brother Jew got on this mission in the beginning, he went to go get a tent, a tent and solar cooking pots, because the way he was perceiving this information about the white man being so big and bad, he saw himself in a loser position that he was going to be homeless, sleeping outside in a tent with somebody else, with walkie talkies. Nigga, I'm about to go squat. I ain't about to sleep in no tent outside. I'm going to squat in the house. You know, I'm a house nigga. I ain't about to be outside. It ain't happening. All right. So moving on. I'm a backpedal a bit and deal with this Hajj, so I can tell you something, show you something that's very, very enlightening here. All right. I love this flyer, man. It's so beautiful to me, man. Because this whole thing is now we about to move to galaxies. Okay. So remember in the Quran, they had Safa and Mara, right? And there is there was like two mountain peaks that they say that, hey, Hagar, right, the mother of Ishmael, the Egyptian woman, that's why the prophet, peace be upon him, is saying, hey, we connected to them. Yeah, because remember, Hagar gives birth to Ishmael, and that's the beginning of Islam. So Hagar is looking, running on top of these two mountaintops looking for some water before the angel Jibril appears and then water comes. This is in their story, okay? So they running in between these two rocks, all right? Now, which is Mara and Safa. Look what the Quran says about Mara and Safa. Behold, Safa and Mara are among the symbols of Allah. So, see, this is what I'm telling you, where the Quran got layers, is because people read that and will be like, yeah, this is a miraculous sign of God, because Hagar was on that mountain looking for water, and then eventually water came from in the vicinity known as the Zamzam well today. Yes, it's one level that you can look at it. Okay, but I'll show you a hidden meaning of it. If you look at Saf, means aligning, arranging in a line or a row. So it deals with some type of alignment. That's soft. If you look at Mara as the root word in red, what does it say? Andromeda. Okay. Both, if you look where it says explore root, both have the same root, which I know is Meen R Hamza. So M-R-A, Mara. Okay. So Mara actually means Andromeda. So Andromeda sits right here, and I'm giving you a nugget. It will be October the 1st when the Earth is perfectly aligned with Andromeda. That's 3 months from now. Okay? All right? 90 days. Every 90 days, we're coming in alignment with something major. Every 90. Okay? The real reason a worshipful master to wear the square, but that's some Freemasonry talk, and we had that conversation later. But why is Andromeda important? Andromeda is important because it is the nearest major galaxy to our Milky Way galaxy that is 2.5 million years away from here. Why is that also important? It's important because in 4.5 billion years, the Milky Way will smash into Andromeda galaxy, creating an event already dubbed as the Andromeda Milky Way collision. So it's the Andromeda Milky Way collision. So you know what that tells me? And I'm just going to give it to you because I love you, right? I'm going to give it to you. If you know how to size up the rotation of Andromeda, what we should be doing is taking the stations of bare minimum working on our angelic forms. Let me just make it plain. In 4.5 billion years from now, there's going to be a whole new solar system and whole new civilization that's going to get created from these two galaxies that's merging. That's how we came about. Our solar system came about by the way of Sagittarius Sporoidal galaxy, Milky crashing into the Milky Way galaxy, and then gave birth to our sun and our planets. That's how we came about, is by the way of two galaxies coming together, doing galactic lovemaking. we should be concentrating on Andromeda so that you can be an angel and an ascended being that guides people into this future civilization of light that is 4.5 billion years from today. That's what we should be working on. So while you down here circling around a rock, which is fine, on the earth plane, that same scripture says, no, it is an alignment in a row to Andromeda, which just so happened to be the next galaxy we're going to smash into that gives birth to solar systems. Why wouldn't the Almighty Allah, God of everything, know that? It does, but it put it there. Coded. Okay? All right. So it says symbols, but I showed you the word for symbol is also Sirius. See, I ain't lying. So now I think the scripture should read the alignment of Safa, which is the alignment, Mara, Andromeda are from Sirius Allah. Sirius Allah. That's a new attribute I'm giving them. Stuff Allah, right? Sirius Allah, right? So the alignment Andromeda Sirius. Alignment Andromeda Sirius. I said, okay, that's interesting. So now Mara does sit, that building structure for Mara does sit to the north and Safa sits to the south. So I know astronomy. I know how to take an astro wheel and make things line up. I know Andromeda is Aries. Yes? So if Aries is at the top and Libra is at the bottom as Safa, what would be to the left? Cancer. What sits in the Cancer below the Cancer constellation? Sirius. So then that means the Kaaba that you go around in a circle technically sits as the representation of Sirius. So as I showed in the Hajj video, the pie in the sky, this is important. Because on the right-hand side, Surah 70 revealed that the angels descend in a period of a day, which is 50,000 years. But then there's a galaxy that is 50,000 light years that goes over our Milky Way galaxy, which is the Sag Dwarf galaxy. It's also 70,000 light years from Earth, which was Surah 70 that revealed this. And its diameter is 10,000 light years. And if you go to what's called the night journey, or the night of power, rather, they say the night of power is better than 1,000 months. Well, they say the night of power is 10 nights. So 1,000 months times 10 nights, that's going to give you, 1,000 times 10 is 10,000. And I said, wow, look at this stuff matching up. So now when we go and say, well, wait a minute, hold on. The given diameter of the Sagittarius spheroidal galaxy is 10,000. When you go to a circle calculator and you put in 10,000 as the given diameter, what is your circumference? Your circumference will be 31,415.92. And I said, well, wait a minute. That's just an extended version of pi. Pi is 3.1415926. So your pi in the sky, pay attention. Your pi in the sky is the spheroidal galaxy, which is our father galaxy, which is the galaxy that is 50,000 years above our Milky Way's North Pole, basically, which is the two galaxies that came together to create us. I said, man, alhamdulillah, this stuff is beautiful. This is talking about galaxies, and you want to play with moons? The Qur'an is dealing with galaxies. So I'm looking at it, and this is my rendition of the cosmic heavens, on my whiteboard. And I said, oh, snap. Wait a minute. Something has to be at the bottom. Where are we at? Let's pay attention to the left square. Cancer, Sirius. Let's go to the very top. It says Andromeda 10-4. You see my little Milky Way spiral? That's Aries. Then we got the Sag Dwarf Sphere galaxy, where the Earth is in front of, which, by the way, tonight, the Earth is perfectly aligned. This is the slide I said I was going to show you. Remember, 7-2, the sun is perfectly in front of Sirius, meaning and the Earth is in a straight line to all this. 7-3, we're at the furthest away from the sun. Yesterday, we was at the furthest point that we can possibly be from the sun. And tonight, the Earth lines perfectly up with the Sagittarius spheroidal galaxy, which around, I would say about 1 o'clock, 1 to 1:30 in the morning in the southern sky is the precise time to get in on your activation. Okay. And so all of that energy is over there by Capricorn. Then we got the Milky Way galaxy, which is the Sagittarius. Then I'm like, well, wait a minute. What's at the bottom at 4-1, which is original Ramadan, which is Libra? What something has to be there. That's why the question marks are there. So we went looking, and lo and behold, you know what we see? Know what we found? We found the largest galaxy in the Virgo cluster is Miser 87, M87. Okay, it's the largest galaxy in our whole galaxy neighborhood. M87. Then, lo and behold, M87 is 132,000 light years. But if you put 132,000 light years in diameter in a circle calculator, your radius becomes 66,000, and 66 is the numerical value of the name of Allah. You see where the Qur'an is going? We give you Sirius, we give you Andromeda, now we're giving you Miser 87. We give you galaxies. So on further investigation of Miser 87, its apparent magnitude is 8.6. But 8.6 is the amount of light years precisely to Sirius. Chapter 86 is called the Night Visitor, which absolutely is talking about Sirius again. Prove that. Okay? I say, so man, look at this. Miser 87 is connected to Sirius. Now, dig it. This is why I fell out my chair right here when I originally did this. They said its distance to the Earth is 53.49 million light years. And what is chapter 53, verse 49? He is the Lord of Sirius. When I saw this shit, I said, oh my God, I'm really loud. This is what I'm saying. I ain't making it up. So, this ain't stuff that you go read in the textbook and then nah. How did it come? It's revealed. It's inspired. Inspired don't mean I had the inspiration to create it. Inspired means revelation. Literally, inspired and revelation mean the same thing in Arabic. Okay? So now, Miser 87 is pointing to the throne. So let's go back to this. Let's really pay attention here. Mara was Andromeda. Safa was alignment, which we now find out is Miser 87. And when you pull up an astro wheel and make, again, Andromeda be in the north, make Miser be in the south, that gives you your spheroidal galaxy, and your Milky Way galaxy is to the right, which technically is the east. And that puts Sirius in the west, which is Sabdek, which is the structure of the Kaaba. That's in the west. So when we really understand the diagram that's over there in Arabia, Mecca, Masjid al-Haram, where the Kaaba is at, astronomically speaking, Sirius is in the west. Look at the diagram. It's in the west. But the Quran always tells you and he is the Lord of the two east and two west. Because their west will be our east. Which really is pointing to something and also an instruction. But I'll deal with that later. Okay? All right. So now, Sirius we know is the throne. Andromeda's at the top. Sag, dwarf galaxy over in Capricorn. Then the Milky Way galaxy in late Sag. And then Miser 87, down there where the original Ramadan was, fall equinox. And I'm like, oh shit, I see it. Do y'all see it? I bet y'all don't see it. I say, get the hell out of here. I see it. Do y'all see it? I don't know if y'all see it. The throne is Sirius, sitting on the throne. So to your left from the throne, imagine you sitting on the throne. To your left is Andromeda. Straight across from you is Sporoidal Galaxy, which is the father galaxy of Allah that we just showed. A little bit to the right of that is the Milky Way galaxy. And then to your immediate right is going to be Miser 87, which is going to be the biggest galaxies out of all the galaxies. Okay? Okay? So I said, do y'all see it? I see it. See if y'all can figure it out. So go back to an astral chart. Do not pay attention to the green numbers. That's just me measuring angles. I'm not finished. That's just some homework that I was doing. So don't worry about that. That's irrelevant right now. Sirius is the law in the throne. I told you that. It's the same word, same 3 letters. So now I'm just giving it to you from an astral chart. So you're sitting on the throne. To your left is the Andromeda galaxy. Straight across is the Sag. Straight across is Milky Way. And then to your right is Miser 87, the biggest galaxy. And I said, yo, this is what it's all about. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? Y'all gotta take a guess. So we have what? 4 galaxies in 1 star. 4 galaxies in 1 star, known as the throne. 4 galaxies in 1 star. Take a wild guess what these 4, 1, or 5 things could be alluding to. Y'all ready? This is what your 5 daily prayers is really all about. Man, listen. If you know the prayer, Fajr, now this chart is going to take on what we call a regular astral chart, where sunrise is going to be to the left. Okay? So, which the left is east. So your standard map, the right is east, right? So in the astral chart, it's inverted. So now you're going to look at it from an astral perspective. Sunrise is called Fajr, even though they do it before the sun come up. Then we have midday prayer Dur, which is exactly when the sun is in the south. That's the Andromeda galaxy, technically. Then you have this early evening, right, prayer known as Asr or As. That's where the Sag Sporoidal galaxy is, Capricorn. And then directly after that is sunset. Yes, which is my favorite prayer, Maghrib, right? That's the Milky Way galaxy. And then you have Isha, the night prayer, which would be Miser 87 around midnight. But depending on the time of the year, like now the days are longer. So it's not midnight, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, 1:30. And now the days are starting to become shorter now because we just passed the apex point. So as the days become shorter, you're going to notice that the prayers come a little bit earlier now, or technically a little bit later. Some could be later, some would be earlier. Okay. So, okay. Because now we're starting to lose light. Okay. So these 5 daily prayers are really aligning you to the galaxies. Now, I was going to show how to do that, but see you in Patreon, right? Because see, listen, it's just about discipline. I ain't even worried about you trying to do nothing crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't worried about that. This is about having discipline. the sun appears to be in front of the throne. Okay? You can stay fixated on the eastern point all day long and the sun move. But I'm telling you that it feels much more better if you're going to choose to stay on a stationary point, the east. Once the sun comes up, there go the throne. That's right now. It just happens to be there. And then what happens later? Cancer, then Leo comes, then Virgo comes, then Libra comes up in the east. Oh, there go Miser 87 that's now coming up in the east. But the sun looked like it's midday in the south, but Miser 87 is on the east. So to know where all the galaxies are in reference to your time of prayer and to be able to channel that energy is the key. Listen, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to a practice. All this information, time travel, astral projection, solar eclipse, Miser 87. Okay, brother, how do you do something with it? You can set up a government and streets named after planets and, look, hey, on the equinox, you know how they got Manhattan Gate? There's a certain time of the year where the sun rises on a certain street in Manhattan in between all the buildings. It happens 2 times a year. You can do that. That's fine. You can build edifices up to alignment. Dope. You can do practices. Let's say, hey. Like today concludes the Venus in Taurus. Venus was just in Taurus, and Venus represents money. Venus rules Taurus. So there was like a 20, I forget how many days it was, a 20+ day run of, it was 28 days. 28 days, really get focused on your gratitude and really get in your bag, right? So you can start doing personal things in your life that align with the energy, right? You're going to have to put some work in somewhere. You sit your butt down, learn how to meditate. If you're a meditator, and do transcendental consciousness, leave your body and go to Sirius. Get your downloads. You're going to have to do something because now it's just theory. So you're going to have to do something to make it make sense, right? All right. So now I'm just saying, listen, I'm just here to point the way. Listen, boop, 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 boop. This is what it is. This stuff ain't nothing but a simple combination lock. Oh, when this one click and lines with this one, then it unlocks what's in the inner part. Because these gates that you see is really 4 gates. Boop, 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 boop. The east, the west, the north, the south. Those are gates. And certain constellations naturally rule that area of space. Yes? So the eastern gate is really the Aries gate. Right? But when you're ruling from the throne, you're ruling from a 90-degree tilt. Yes? Because Cancer belongs in the astral chart, Cancer belongs at the bottom, not on the left point. That takes, 3 months if we're dealing with the sun, about 6 hours if we're dealing with the regular daily rotation for the bottom point. If you're looking at the screen, from Miser to rotate to where Sirius is, on average, that's about a 6-hour window on average. But it's 4 gates. 6 times 4 is 24 hours in a day. So these constellations are gateways. And when they align with a certain fixed area of space, because space is a gateway as well. So when the eastern constellation lines up with the eastern gateway, everything is a natural click called Aries rising, sometimes Pisces rising. The houses and the signs match up to one another. The combination lock is aligned. Now, it don't mean that it's a misalignment when we put Sirius at the eastern gate. We just know we're dealing with a 90-degree square. So in Freemasonry, what happened? What do they tell you? They say, now some of y'all don't know what the heck Freemasonry. I heard of the Masons, but I don't know what you about to tell me about the Masons. So let me show you something about the Mason. Okay, I need a Chrome tab. Can I get a Chrome tab? Let me get a new tab. All right. Worshipful master. Yes. Oh no, why you got me on Yahoo? Because they changed my thing, man. I hate Yahoo. But the worshipful master wears this emblem. Like if we click on this dude right here, you see that? He wears that square, right? And you look on this apron, he has a square. He wears this square. The square is a 90-degree implement, right? A tool, okay? So now when you understand the zodiacal order, what's happening when Sirius is on the eastern gate as the throne, there's a 90-degree, it's a 90-degree, I want to say tilt, for lack of a better word. It's a 90-degree angle being created when you do that. So we're supposed to be ruling from the throne. We rule on the 90. This is why in law, they be hitting you with 90 days. 90 days. What did you hear Brittany Renner say about, her and Kevin breaking up? Oh, I'm on a 90 day. I bet. Which is really rigorous. You really should be on the 120, not a 90. You understand the geometry of the heavens. A 90 will box you in because 90 is a square. It'll square you into physicality. You understand that? So it's all kind of things that you can do when you understand this. And so we say, well, 90 degrees, I want to bring something in the realm of physicality. And I'm going to use this square to do it. Because remember, boy, we about to get it in. I can't wait to Sunday class because we in the Circle 7 Qur'an. And you about to see Isa Jesus talk about the tools that Joseph was working with. Because Joseph was a carpenter. That's the story. Joseph was a carpenter. But Freemasonry is built off of the carpenter, the square, the plumb, the level, all of these tools to build a building. But you about to see Jesus talk about these are mental tools to chip away at our character and our ego to make the rough ashlar into a perfect ashlar, rough stone into a perfect smooth stone. That's what we're supposed to be doing, right? So you can bring things into physicality by understanding. Oh, okay. All right. That corner is a 90-degree angle. Let's just say, just like how names is a frequency, well, what's the frequency of it? Take it to its numerical value. If Allah equals 66, then how many times can you zikr Allah? 66. I just showed you the galaxy that has the circumference of or radius rather of 66, the radius of 66,000. So now that galaxy is right there. 66, I'm just going to zikr Allah 66 times while in that. Because that's a channel. That number is a frequency. You see what I'm saying? So square 90, okay, I'm going to say this thing 60 or 90 times because I'm creating a 90-degree, as I see a 90-degree angle squaring my corner into physicality. The thing that I'm creating, I'm going to say it 90 times within this square. The square box you into physicality. Okay? So just a little, ancient Moorish. This is Moorish Islam. It's that West African Islam. This ain't got nothing to do with that old but Arabian Islam. You don't know. All right. All right. All right, man. So that's really it. But yeah, man, y'all can get what happened to my thing, man? I don't see it. Let me see something real quick, yo. It didn't ask me for it. I wonder what happened to it. But anyway, yeah, if y'all got a question real quick, man, you can put it in the chat. You know what I'm saying? You can put it in the chat if you got a question. You know what I mean? Yeah, Skia, man, you gotta come through, man. You know, your whole logo is a Circle 7. You gotta come through on the Sunday class. Oh, what would they say? The Qur'an is a false religion created by Satan. Wake up and stop allowing Satan to deceive you. Listen, random what is it? Dow sent. The moment that you believe in Satan, you just believed in something that is other than the God. Because to believe in Satan, you believe in God. But the moment that you give Satan the authority of anything, you just became a polytheistic. And if you poly, you poly. Ain't nothing wrong with it. But the point will be you missing the point. You missing the point. You'll be totally missing the point. But I'll dare say this. I'll dare say this. Well, I won't say anything. Because then we think that, well, the devil is wise, so therefore all of the wisdom of why the science points to this and this and this is because the devil is that wise. You know, one thing that I found out about when I was dealing with the Qur'an, when I start looking at the numerical value, Satan is 359. I said, boy, you was just one short of being a perfect circle. And I know that the Quran puts things in numerical value. It's a numerically structured book. So to give Satan a numerical value of 359, just one short of 360, which is completion, is a lot of wisdom in that particular understanding in of itself. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So, said Jesus Christ is Lord. The Quran is false, designed to deny everything Jesus did to give us salvation, as Michael Lewis say. I would say that's not true. I would say is Lord and God the same thing? If that's your perception, you know, because they're not. Lord and God are not the same thing. Adonai, Elohim, you know, El Shaddai, Asher Yehe, like I am that I am, then Jehovah, you know what I'm saying? So if you're coming from a biblical perspective, you know what I'm saying, then you got to accept the whole Bible, not just the New Testament. You got a lot of names for God in the new, in the old, right? And so if you come over, even if you come over into the new, and the perception is, what my question will be, is Jesus the Son of God or is he God? When you make that statement, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna tell you, you can look at it as Jesus Christ is Lord. That's fine. But I would dare say, you know, what I found very interesting in history, Michael, was if you put in 325 Council of Nice, you will see that the church fathers started to create the doctrine of the Trinity. They started making things up and start creating the doctrine. So it wasn't always something that was known, right? It just wasn't. It wasn't something that was always known. So when you start to get into the history, and I give you another one, there's a book called The World's 16 Crucified Saviors. There are 16 other cultures that has the same Jesus Christ story before, because remember, this Christ thing is only 2,000 years old. Hence, that's why we're in the year 2025, so we say, right? Before Jesus, there's the same story over and over again, recorded in 16 other cultures. And it's called The World 16 Crucified Saviors. Read it. Because see, now we're going to have to come to it. We're going to have to, if we're going to be honest about it, and we're going to be scholars, and we're not just going to be, you know, dogmatic, right? We're going to have to say, well, no. Well, how is it that these stories parallel this story, and these stories actually come before our story? And then when you go to the inception point of the story, you see this council getting together called the Council of Nice in 325 AD, getting together, and they start to create this Trinity doctrine. And then they start further elaborating at the Council of Trent. They start, you know, creating this doctrine. So these guys are creating the doctrine that happens to mirror something that precedes it. It's not taking away anything, but we're going to have to be honest here and say what's on the record book. You see what I'm saying? So, but Christ is Lord. Christ is the highest aspect that you can reach. This is, I'm gonna tell you something. Because if you're on this channel, surely you're not here because you hate Islam and you just want to talk about, this is faith. I don't really think that's the reason you would be here. I think you would be here because there's something that's pulling you here for a higher conversation to be had. A great reference book is this right here, the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. Okay. So this tells you that, say, hey, listen, Jesus said he talks in parables, right? The Quran says it's parables as well, right? These stories, people, places, and things represent different aspects of human development and consciousness that the human being goes through. So it's not solely talking about, in some cases at all, it's not even talking about a historical theme. Wasn't no man in the belly of a whale. What are we, in kindergarten? And the digestive enzymes didn't kill this dude. All the acid in the whale didn't kill Jonah. Like, come on. A tree had knowledge, and the serpent was talking to a lady. Are we serious? The devil really showed up with Job, and God, the Almighty God that know everything, asked the devil, where have you been? And you God, and you know everything, and you asking this man where he been? So it's deeper than rap, homie. It's deeper than that. And you have to extract what it's saying. And so a reference point would be the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary for those of you who love the Bible, to get an understanding that, whoa, wait a minute. Christ represents the highest aspect of man can possibly attain. Christ said, you will go off to do greater things than I. Well, shit, if you Christ and you the Lord, what would that make me if I do things better than Christ? Am I the master Lord, the big Lord? I'm the big homie, OG Lord? Because Christ said you would do better things than I. Whoa. And you the Lord. Okay. So I'm big OG Lord. So can you reach a state where you can heal people by touching them or them touching you? Can you tell a person to do X, Y, Z and the miracle happen in their life? That's a state of being that we all can become, because Christ said you can do greater things than I. So Paul says, do you not know that Christ is in you? And he also said, I no longer view Christ from a physical point of view. I don't view Christ that way no more. This is in the Bible. So now they're telling you, no, it ain't a figure. It's consciousness. Because Christ is buried at Golgotha, the place of the skull. It ain't talking about some mountain that's named the place of the skull. It's talking about your thought process inside of your skull. If we were to open this skull up, you would see something called cranial nerves. There are 12 cranial nerves. Fact check me. It's 12 cranial nerves. What a coincidence, Jesus has 12 disciples. Yeah. So that's the inner. The outer is the sun in the sky will rise with righteousness in his wings, like it says in the book of Malachi, and sun is spelled S-U-N. The sun it goes through 12 constellations. So our physical sun look like it has 12 companions known as the 12 months, but they're really the 12 zodiac signs. Genesis 48 or the Genesis 49, who was Jacob talking to? The 12 tribes of Israel that got birthstones talking about Aquarius, is amethyst, and Pisces is turquoise and all this kind of stuff. And only the high priest could wear it. What you think they talking about? Science has already proven that you stardust. You are the light of God. And so these characters are different states of how that light can operate within yourself. The Bible said it. Paul said it. I ain't telling you Christ. Paul said, do you not know Christ is in you? And then kind of said it like you was a dummy. Did you not know Christ is in you? Like, you still looking at this shit like it's a human being. I no longer view Christ from a human point of view. That's what he said. I no longer view Christ from a human point of view. That's what he said. It's in the Bible. Okay? You know what I'm saying? All right. All right, man. All of these sciences say the same thing. They point to the same thing. All of them. They point to the same thing. That's why it's a beautiful unity within them. And this is what I love about the Quran, because the Quran tells you that. The Quran tells you the Christian, the Jew, the Sabians, and I created all of these speaking different languages so you can get to know each other. And so then you can go compete in the name of righteousness. It's not shaming nobody. As long as you know that it is the one true source. The moment that you get divided, and Muslims is good for this. You know, oh, Shaitan, you missed it. Shaitan don't exist. Only Allah exists. You got the creator and you got the destroyer. The things that you don't like, you keep calling that Satan. It's not what that is. Satan literally means to oppose. So it's just an aspect of opposition. So you can call it Satan, but don't get tricked out of your bag. That's why I keep telling y'all the book of Job is giving you the best game ever in the Bible. He didn't fall for the duality trick. He never said it's the devil that's doing this. He said the good and the bad come from God. He didn't say, hey, the devil trying to trick you into reading this book. The devil's trying to do, no. Nothing but God exists. Because where do the devil get his authority? He has to get his authority from God. So then nothing but God exists. You can't fall for the trick. All right? Nothing but. So now you become, you know, the Muslims, they become polytheistic. All right? Swear they ain't. Swear they be on it. Ain't on shit. For real. All right. All right, man. So I get with y'all, man. I appreciate y'all, man. See y'all over in the Patreon. I don't know what my Patreon thing is, man. I used to have my own my Patreon thing lit up so y'all know how to get on over there and whatnot. But you can go to patreon.com/Noble Anpu. And what y'all want to listen to, man? What prayer we gonna get up out of here with, man? I love these prayers. These prayers is super dope. What we dealing with? Idle Kersey, Copper. We do with some abundance. It's Friday. It's a real short one called Al Copper. Yeah, let's do that one. Let's get out of here and get into this abundance flow. So let me upload it real quick. Where is it at? Bing! All right, y'all. See y'all later. We should be about to get out of here. Let me see. Boop, boop, boop.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر